My name is Cassy Summers. Welcome to the Curious Universe podcast. What if superpowers aren't difficult? Like, what if it's the opposite? That's what I want to explore today with you in the Curious Universe. So I have worked with so many clients and participants in my classes, and we often talk about capacities. We talk about magic. It's one of the things I love to talk about. And more often than not, it is the things that are just easy for us, the things that we would say, like, this is just who I am. I wasn't really doing anything. Those are some of the most phenomenal capacities that go completely unacknowledged because it doesn't take any work. So then we see it as less valuable. But isn't that what magic is? Ease. And easy, dare I say. When something shows up as if by magic, what do you think of? Does that mean that you worked really hard for it? Does that mean that you had to develop, you spent hours developing a skill and working at it, and you went and saw gurus and you climbed the Himalayan mountains? Or did something just show up as if by magic? Well, the magic, my friend, is actually you. And you co-conspiring with the magic of the universe that allows that to happen. So if you have the idea that if someone were to say to you, wow, that's a superpower, okay, so we're looking at the underlying energy, because that's where all of the limitations lie. That's where all of the things that are stopping us lie, is the stuff underneath it. It's rarely ever what's up here in the surface. So that's why the cognitive mind can't figure it out, is because we have to go underneath. We have to go, what is this energy underneath it? So if I were to say to you, wow, that's a phenomenal capacity you have, and you were to not claim, own, and acknowledge it, if you were to negate it or play it down or disregard it, the energy underneath it, because it's just who you are, you didn't really work hard, it wasn't really a big deal, right? The energy underneath is that because it wasn't difficult, it couldn't be a superpower. So then if you want more superpowers in your life, you're actually asking for more difficulty, because that matches the energy of the points of view that you have thought around this topic. Ooh, like, let's not ask for a harder life. Let's ask to have everything show up with more ease, right? That's what I would like anyways. Maybe you like it. Maybe you like it hard. That's fine. That's up to you. That's a preference thing. But if you would like to clear some of this with me and explore the possibilities of you truly having access to your powers, to your capacities, you have to be willing to know the ease that comes with them. You have to be willing to look at the things that come, what you would even say naturally, that you haven't worked at. And you have to be willing to acknowledge the greatness of those things, the miracles of those things that seem just like who you are. So let's look at even miracle for a minute. And I'm not asking you to make it significant. That's different. Significance kills magic. I'm never asking you to make something significant. But get the difference between acknowledging something and disregarding something. And a lot of us, this is connected to receiving, but a lot of us can do this with compliments, for example, because we have a hard time receiving it. We don't want to seem arrogant, or we have all kinds of things kind of muddled up in there. We'll talk about receiving, like deeper in receiving in another podcast, because today I really want to like kind of explore deeper into this piece here about when it's just so easy. If someone to be like, how did you do that? And you're like, I don't know, I just kind of did it. Like there are a million things. And for me, it's so funny because I kind of went through life having this idea that I wasn't really like that good at much of anything. Like, like I'm okay at stuff. It's like, it's not like I can't live, I can't function. But if someone's like, what's your greatest talent or skill? I don't know. Taking people's shit. Maybe that's my greatest skill. And I was actually at a podcast not too long ago, and it was talking about, I knew I sucked at everything. So of course I got into the easiest job that there is, childcare. And the host of the podcast kind of was like, that's not easy to everyone. And I'm like, well, I mean, it kind of is, though. It's like, that's where the people that don't have capacities, please, if you work with kids, I am not trying to insult you in any way. I think you're magical and brilliant, and I'm so grateful for you. These were my judgments of me, not my judgments of other people, okay? It was all about where I couldn't see that I had any value, and I couldn't see that I had capacities. Nothing to where, when I actually now look out and I look at people that are truly being present in any childcare, whether it's daycare, education, I mean, those are superheroes. They truly, truly are. And man, I've had those superheroes change my life, and I've seen them change my kids' life. And I've also seen them damage my kids' lives. So it's like, there's great power in that, right? But in my point of view of this insane world, I was looking at it like there's nothing else I could do. So of course I'm going to look after the kids because it was so easy. It is still so easy. I find it incredibly easy. Just like some people find it incredibly easy to be with plants or incredibly easy to be with animals. Kids are just, gosh, they're just kids. They're just like happy. They just want to make you happy. They just want everything to go well. They still believe in magic. Like it was just always so easy. And I disregarded that as any capacity. Like if someone said, oh, you must have a capacity with kids, I'd be like, no, like it's just easy. Like there's no capacity. I didn't like develop a skill here. Like kids show up, I show up, we do our thing, it's easy. Are you with me? Can you hear yourself in this in some area of your life, whether it's with kids, whether it's, being a parent, whether it's just the way you bake bread, whether it's like whatever it is for you, the way you cook, you know, what gifts and capacities do you have that because you didn't develop them, you are disregarding them? Everything that is times a godzillion. Will you just train and create it, please? Right, wrong, get a bad pot and pot, all nine shorts, boys, purpose, beyond. If you're new to the show, that is called the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement. It's a magic wand that we use to clear out energy. And if you want more information, go to theclearingstatement.com. I always have a link below the show. We're not going to go into it much more here, though. But we'll use it because it is fantastic at clearing out that energy. And that's what we're doing. We're looking at this energy underneath and what you've thought about you that is keeping you from expanding that capacity. So if I were to actually go, okay, wow, the way I be with kids is very different. Not necessarily what I do. And that's where my brain kind of went. I was like, I don't feel like I'm doing anything really different, like a little bit, but not like so extremely different than other people are doing. But it was actually what I be with them that was so extraordinary and way less definable and way less something that I could cognitize. Like if someone were like, what were you being there? Now that I have such a I've developed my skill with energy. I could describe it, but back then I wouldn't have been able to tell you. I was just being me out. No. Now, to disregard that capacity is to disregard my very being. For you to disregard your capacities is for you to disregard your very being. That's you. And it is extraordinary. It is spectacular. It is not a nothing because you didn't work at it. It's not a nothing because you didn't do anything. Would you be willing to lean into that a little bit? Would you be willing to lower some barriers and explore the possibility of your miraculousness when you're not putting in any effort, when you're not doing much of anything different than anyone else? Because again, it is your being. It's your being. And when you're being you, that doesn't mean you're not taking action. It doesn't mean you're not doing anything, but it's from a completely different energy. Again, it's always the energy. It's the energy behind something. It's the energy underneath something. It's always the energy. Okay. So do you have the point of view? Have you got somewhere that the value is in the doing, or the value is in what you can tangibly prove? So if you took me and someone else and I had all the success with the kids and they didn't, but we were doing the same thing, and someone asked me to explain, I would not have been able to tell you why I had such success and they didn't. I would not have been able to tell you back then. I can now because I have acknowledged my capacities with energy, with perceiving, with receiving, with knowing, and with being. I have acknowledged those, and that began a sense of clarity that led to the expansion and growth of those capacities. But the first thing that was required, like the starting point, is to actually acknowledge. So if you're the kind of person that always knows, like when your friends are sad, even if they're hiding it, that is some of your magic. That's a capacity. That's not a nothing. It's like, oh, it's just who I am. It's just my intuition. It's just blah, 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 blah. It's just the energy underneath that is that it's not valuable. So then what are you doing to your capacities that you've decided are not valuable? And what does that create for your life? And then what do you make valuable? Oh, I worked really hard. That's valuable. You know, kicked my butt at the gym. That's valuable. But it wouldn't be valuable if you just created your body through energy, choice, and consciousness and never had any problems with it. That's just how my body is. I don't know. That's just who I am. And it's not. I mean, it is, but it's not, because you're missing the magic. You're missing the miraculousness, because how you be and what you create is so unique and so different than what anyone else can be or create. And that's what I really had hoped we could engage with today, is you allowing yourself to get a sense of that unique magic that you are, that seems like nothing. We always think it's going to feel like something, like whether it's going to feel like something emotionally or it's going to even physically feel like something when you're being you. And most of the time, and there's different things that we've talked about different times where it could be different, but most of the time it feels like nothing, because there's not a feeling to being. And that is why our brain goes, this is it, because it feels like nothing, therefore it is nothing, which is a complete diminishment of the magic of you, the capacity of you. So what is it about you that you have so much ease with? Those things where you just have so much ease in an area that you don't even see it as valuable. Like you would never ever think someone would like want to pay you money for it, for example. you know? Now, if you've been diminishing yourself or judging yourself, this might be a hard question that I'm asking. It might be really challenging for you to let down those walls and barriers and allow yourself to get a sense of it. And if that's true, you could look at where have people actually acknowledged you in the past and you've disregarded it, and allow yourself to recall it, allow yourself to come forward. And if you can't even, maybe you've been surrounded by assholes your whole life and you don't even have that, then I want you to ask, where have animals or the earth acknowledged you? And the earth is not going to acknowledge you with words. It's all energetic. And if you have cut yourself off from your energetic capacities, which a lot of us have after, we become like teenagers or earlier, you might not know that you're receiving the energy of it, but you are. It's still there. It's still present. The earth is communicating with you, whether or not you receive it, all the time. So even right now, if you allow yourself to access that energy, your brain might not have thoughts or words for it, or it might, your body might feel like nothing, or it might be getting flashes of energy or heat or feeling suddenly cold or goosebumps, okay? So what has the earth acknowledged about your capacities that you could receive? Woo! No, this could show up in dreams. This can show up where you think nothing happened, and then 2 days later, you see like a deer walk out of the woods and just like look you in the eye and then walk away, Like it could show up in any miraculous way. Just be open. Just be open and let it show up. Okay, cool. Woo! Here we go. Just be open. So what is miraculous and wonderful and great about you that you've never allowed yourself to fully acknowledge because it was just easy? Would you allow yourself to acknowledge the magic that you be? Because when it was just easy, that's the magic that's an expression of your magic. That's you being the magic of you. So me being with kids is just easy. That's just the magic of me. Me perceiving energy is so easy. It's like, it's a good universe of easy. That's just who I be. That's just a capacity that I have. And it's not significant. But the more I acknowledge it and the more I play and engage with it, it has grown and grown and grown. Universes beyond anything I ever imagined possible. And I am still just beginning. There's so much more I know I'm capable of. There's so much more I know you are capable of. It could be that you just make, people are in a bad mood and when they hang out with you, they feel better. Have you ever really acknowledged that? Doesn't mean you have to turn it into a job. It doesn't mean that that's what you have to do with your life. But when you acknowledge the magic that you are, the miracle that you are, then that magic and miraculousness participates in your life in a different way. And when you don't, it can actually work against you in many ways. So even if it's just easy for you, would you be willing to explore the possibility of acknowledging it anyways? Yeah. You know what? That was really easy for me. And that's really magical. It's really miraculous. And look around you at other people. Notice that they'll have ease doing things that maybe aren't easy for you. And you can look at that as the other way. Because for me, because it was so easy for me, because working with kids is so easy for me, I truly assumed that it was so easy for everyone else. I did not realize that it is not easy. Parenting is so easy for me. I assumed it must be so easy for everyone else. This is the underlying point of view that keeps us from truly receiving that which we are being. So what is actually so easy for you that is not easy for everyone else, that if you were to acknowledge it would give you a greater sense of you? And anything that's not that, we destroy and create it, please. Right, we're going to talk about all nature, sports, and dance. All right, I think we went as far as we can go today, but I'm so grateful for you exploring this topic. Hopefully you got a little glimmer of more of your amazingness. Play with these questions. You can even listen to this again. There's a lot of energetics going on within the moments of our conversation. Yeah. And what if you could allow your capacities to participate in your life in a totally different way? It would give you a more magical sense of living. See you in the next episode. Bye for now.
Thank you for exploring the curious universe with me. Your curiosity matters. And what if together we could create a greater, more curious world?